Gilmore.
Cancora, first of all, I want to join with Deputy Kenny in congratulating Bernard Dunn on winning the world title and on congratulating the Irish rugby team on winning the Grand Slam. As I watched the final moments of the match on Saturday on television, I couldn't help but wonder how well Ireland does when it gets a change of manager. I see that the Minister for Finance was in London on St. Patrick's Day, and he was telling the assembled gathering that the government was going to crack down on crony capitalism in Ireland. May I say that the Labour Party welcomes that very warmly. There are certainly a few cronies that can be cracked down on. We have Mr. Fitzpatrick, who's known to his cronies as Shawnee, Mr. Fingleton, known to his cronies as Fingers, and now we have a green crony, Mr. McCaughey, who, of course, has legally avoided the payment of capital gains tax by the convenient means of transferring the shares to his spouse, who then transferred herself to Italy for the best part of a year to qualify as a tax exile. I want to ask the Taoiseach a couple of questions arising from these. First of all, in relation to Mr. Fingleton. Like Deputy Kenny, I was very surprised at the statement which has just been issued by the Minister for Finance, which effectively says that the government, the Minister for Finance, is going to take a month to investigate what remuneration was paid to Mr. Fingleton. It's already in the public domain, Taoiseach, that Mr. Fingleton paid himself a bonus of €1 million after the guarantee scheme came into effect. And I think that taxpayers who are awaiting the worst of news on budget day, which is less than a month, will want to know whether or not the government is going to recoup that, and how it is that a bonus of that kind could be paid after the guarantee scheme came into effect, when we were told that the government had given itself very considerable powers to exercise some control on these institutions. Secondly, I would like to know, in respect of Mr. McCaughey, and as I said, what he did was perfectly legal. That's the problem. But can you give some assurance to the taxpayers of the country who are likely to be hit with further tax increases in the budget, that this arrangement of tax exiles is going to be ended once and for all? I think that people are scandalised that this type of arrangement can be entered into, that if you're well enough off in this country and you have good enough accountants, you can manage to get around tax liabilities. But if you're a PAYE worker somewhere or a business trying to keep going, you don't have any escape. And finally, can I ask you if the Minister for the Environment, who appointed Mr. McCaughey as chairperson of the Dublin Docklands Authority, and who described Mr. McCaughey as one of our most successful green entrepreneurs, and in the past decade has shown clear leadership on issues including regulatory reform and sustainable business practices, if the Minister for the Environment still has confidence in Mr. McCaughey as chairman of the Dublin Docklands Authority. Well, first of all, in relation to the last matter, can I ask the Taoiseach if the Minister for the Environment was aware that these matters had already been under consideration by the Revenue Commissioners, and that it had given rise to the change in legislation that the Taoiseach has described when the Minister for the Environment appointed the individual as chairperson of the Dublin Docklands Authority. Secondly, can I ask specifically in respect of the Mr Fingleton matter, I don't understand, Taoiseach, why this has to take a month. It didn't take a month in the United States when they discovered that there were very big bonuses being paid to people in AIG for them to deal with it. Taking a month here means putting it beyond the date of the budget, putting it beyond Easter, and putting it into that kind of never land, where things that are investigated for a month never really come back again and get overtaken by other events. Now, when Deputy Joan Burton came in here on the 30th of September and proposed specific amendments to the bank guarantee legislation, that there should be caps placed on the remuneration being given to the top people in financial institutions, the Minister for Finance assured her that there were sufficient powers in the bill that he presented to deal with any eventuality of this kind. Specifically, Taoiseach, in Section 5, he says that the Minister may, in respect of any difficulty that arises in the operation of this Act for a period of 2 years, make any regulations to do anything that appears necessary or expedient to deal with the situation. It goes on to say that in circumstances where the institutions concerned don't comply with such regulations and directions and rulings by the Minister for Finance, that the Minister for Finance could withdraw the financial support and guarantees that were being given to these institutions. So as I read it, Taoiseach, the law currently is that the Minister for Finance has the power to require that these bonuses be repaid and whatever other steps have to be taken to deal with it. So I don't understand. What's going to take a month? Why are we waiting a month for this? Why does it take a month? I mean, the payment was either made or wasn't. Facts are easily established. What payment was made? When was it made? Who authorised it? Was there any clearance sought from the Minister for Finance or for the Department of Finance or from the financial regulator about it? Was it cleared by the board? Facts are easily established. It doesn't take a month to establish these facts. This, Taoiseach, is something that requires to be dealt with quickly, and it requires to be dealt with quickly because the public, who are now being asked to shoulder the burden for the difficult economic circumstances that we're in, need to have this dealt with before budget day, not leaving it until after budget day. And secondly, I would suggest that the international financial markets, who don't look very favourably on this country, on our banking or financial system at the moment, need to see that our government is dealing with something like this quickly, not looking for a report that's going to come in a month's time when it might be considered and dealt with on the mere fodder basis. So, Taoiseach, deal with it quickly. It's in the legislation. You have the power to deal with it. The Minister for Finance has the power to deal with it. There's no justification at all here for leaving this for a month.